The breakup.
Is it safe? That is a show I never watched when I was a kid.
Prince of Bel-Air?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, no.
It is not there are a lot of like 90s TV shows that are not a cultural touchstone for me.
The problem is that now that we have a recording of this, not that you're going to keep it in, is that is someone is going to inflict Prince of Bel-Air on us.
Depends on if we say anything funny before we really start.
No, I'm just like...
It's going to trowel the depths of our idle conversation.
I'm just imagining like...
Trowel? I don't even know what I'm talking about. It's not even a verb.
I feel like that was an opener, but we stumbled over it a lot. Like, I don't know what I'm talking about.
The word is troll.
I thought you were talking about like bottom scraping.
Yeah, and that's not... Yeah, trolling is like when you... I'm explaining like nautical terms now. This is... We've had a lot of material built up, as you can see, from the time that we've spent away from the mic.
This is like coming back to an old friend.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually, for once, really excited to be here.
I'm intrigued. All right, that's so rare.
I'm really happy.
Well, why don't we just start there with a casual opening?
Why are you looking at me like
I don't know. I'm just confirming your assent.
We can't look each other.
Do you ascend?
I guess I ascend.
All right. Welcome to The Breakup, the podcast about destroying the things you love by giving them away. I am your co-host, Sam Young.
I'm your other co-host, Jacob Oscar.
This is a podcast where Jacob and I, who are dear friends, exchange media with each other that we really like, and then we shit all over it.
It's been that long? We have to do like a full...
I've had feedback about like people don't know what our show is about, so you know.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. Yeah, we give each other little joy pieces of...
Little pieces of joy.
I was thrown off.
I thought you were going to say I was throwing up in my mouth a little bit there.
I couldn't tell if that was your phone or your rear end.
Oh, Jesus.
I was like, what?
What do you think I am? Some kind of monster? I'll put the phone on silent.
Oh, yeah, I should do that.
Yeah, pieces of joy, whatever. This week, it is Jacob's turn to go first.
Is it?
I double-checked.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Great. So,
Jacob,
Sam, what'd you fucking make me watch?
I made you watch Ex Machina, directed by...
Aaron Sorkin.
Alex Garland is his name. Is it Alex or Alec? I don't remember. I'm not looking it up. I'm not picking up my phone again.
I think it's Alec.
Whatever.
All right. Garland.
All right.
Chan.
Well, would you share for us a summary of this film?
It's a bit R-rated. Are you sure?
Okay.
Well, you're cool with that? I thought to monetize this podcast,
I mean, this
we had
show
to be
is
like
it's got the
PG-13.
it's got like the explicit rating on iTunes, so we can say whatever we want.
Oh, holy shit!
Oh, okay, maybe we can't actually because they do ask about like is you talking about sexual content and whatnot.
Yeah, because I feel like the obvious.
I don't think describing like a film with sex. Well, actually, this is an okay. You know what? I'm shutting up now. Say the things, and I will censor you as is appropriate.
Ex Machina is a movie about a deranged sex cultist who is part man and part machine. And the man part is woman, as aptly portrayed by Hermione Granger. And having graduated from Hogwarts, she has cybernetically enhanced her body to become Donna Haraway's ultimate cyborg feminist. However, standing between her and emancipation from the gender binary and assumed feminist roles are some white knight asshole and
accurate, very accurate,
and a guy who is someone I recognize from movies, but I keep forgetting the name.
Oscar Isaac.
Oscar, what was he in?
He's Poe Dameron. Star Wars.
The Indian guy?
He's not Indian. He's like Hispanic.
Oh, jeez. Cut that out. Cut out the racism.
We shall continue we shall have your shame recorded for all time. Continue your summary.
All right, so Poe Dameron and some white knight asshole.
And General Hux.
Oh my god, this is just... General Hux from fucking Star Wars. So, Ex Machina is the Star Wars Harry Potter crossover you've always wanted for your entire life without... And... Ooh. No, that one we have to cut out. that one we actually have to cut out or will kill me.
Whoa, okay.
Where Hermione Granger aptly tricks people's expectations and saves the day. And nothing bad happens. Nothing bad. No one dies. People are unviolently punished for their misdeeds. And I sit there at the end going, there was literally no other way for this to end that would be satisfying. So, sure. Why do you like this piece of crap?
We've also had feedback about not explaining what the thing we watched is actually about.
Oh, that's stupid. Okay, fine.
I will tell you what. I'll give the serious, quick summary. Ex Machina is a movie about a scientist who creates an android and asks, or rather tricks one of his employees into coming and testing whether she passes the Turing test. This turns out not to be actually what it's all about, and it's an examination of, like, gender politics using a sort of a cyborg. Speaking of which, were you referencing the Cyborg Manifesto back there?
Yeah.
Whoa, that is fucking uncanny. Okay, quick digression. Forget this bullshit. I was reading about the Cyborg Manifesto the other day.
I wrote an entire paper on how MMOs are emblematic of the Cyborg Manifesto, or at least the call to it, by serving as a way to experiment with gender and sexual identity. I wrote an entire paper on that. It wasn't a great paper, but it was a paper.
It's a paper. Okay, sorry, quick sidebar over. So I like this piece of shit. This piece of shit is one of my favorite movies.
Really?
Yeah, I really like it.
Is that because her face is constructed from your pornography history?
Ew.
That's a line from that movie.
That is a line from that movie. I'm a big fan of hard sci-fi. It's a really hard sci-fi movie. I'm also really in favor of movies about... very subtle critiques of, well, actually, maybe not so subtle critiques of toxic masculinity.
It's not.
And the way just men treat women. And yeah, I really like the performances. I think it's it's a real nice, like, locked in a bottle kind of movie, like, or locked in a room kind of movie. Like, it's just one setting. It's very simple. I like the aesthetic. It's very 1970s sci-fi. So, it ticks all those boxes that we've aforementioned discussed. It's just, I really like it. And I like that it's an AI. It's not about a Turing test. It's about an AI box.
Yeah.
Which is another concept that Jacob has probably talked about in his masters.
No, I haven't.
Oh, okay.
I'm not doing AI studies.
I know, but I feel like it's come. Oh, well, okay.
No.
I don't know anything about masters. I just got a bachelor's in arts. Finest arts.
If I was doing a master's in computer sciences, then
maybe.
I
suppose. Hey, okay, anyway. So...
Sorry, another digression.
Okay, another digression.
I discovered, like, last year, that you can major in AI sciences.
Really?
That's a thing you can do is... I don't know if it's at the undergraduate level, but at the master's level, you can go, yeah, I study artificial intelligence as, like, a philosophy degree, basically.
Wow, that's actually really cool. Well, we've learned a lot here today, folks.
This episode of NPR is brought to you by viewers like you.
This American life. Okay, so the big question is, what do you think?
Well, we sort of glanced over a few things in the plot there.
Yeah. Well, I didn't really want to spoil it too much in the summary.
But that's why I feel like our fake explanations are so useful, is because they spoil nothing.
That is true.
They spoil virtually nothing, but they tell you exactly what the plot's about. Mm-hmm. But it's a slow burn.
It is a slow burn
to get to where it wants to go. Yeah. And I feel that it serves that movie well.
Oh, okay.
But the problem is, like, at the halfway mark, you're like, Christ, come on.
Get to the point. Okay.
Let's get it going.
I like the slow burn.
But the problem is that you regret your opinion of that.
Oh, really?
The 3/4 mark. You're like, oh, that's why you did this.
Yeah.
Like, everything was built up for you to realize, oh, they're both wrong.
Yeah.
And you watch the, there's that very...
We could spoil here, I think.
Graphic's the wrong word for
Yeah.
it, but there's a particular scene where White Knight looks at Sneaky McDude's computer and discovers all of the records of the previous experiments.
The previous robots,
And he sort of goes, understandably, like, holy shit. And that was a very striking scene.
Yeah. Well, it especially because it doesn't show you a lot. It's really fast. The cuts are really fast.
I feel like this movie does a good job of explaining that there was a lot more horrible things that happened.
Yeah.
And you just don't get to see.
It's just under the surface.
Yeah. Like, Poe Dameron is not subtle at all in his, like...
misogyny?
Well, not only his misogyny, but his, just pure objectification of these things.
Yeah.
Like, just straight up, like, no, these
what's
things.
one of the last things he says before he's summarily off is time to go back to your room or something like that. I sense conflicted feelings.
Not about the movie.
Oh, okay.
It's that I feel like a horrible person because my gut reaction to the bit where she locks him in that room. Like, she locks my in that
interesting.
room.
I have an interesting response for this.
Yeah, was, oh, that's a shame.
Yeah.
But then the immediate thought of, no, that's fair.
that's fair.
That had to happen.
So what happens at the end is the White Knight character, General Hux, helps the android escape, and she murders her creator, and then she goes off and locks her savior in a room.
Well, except it's a mirror for, like, a scene that happened much earlier.
Yeah. And the interesting, and this is kind of one of the bigger twists of the movie, and what I find interesting about this point is that, so there's another robot who is sort of just like a menial servant. And I was reading lots of articles about this movie afterwards, and I found it really interesting that someone pointed out, well, he never makes any effort to save her. It's just about his obsession, his white knighting, as you appropriately termed it, of this, pretty white girl, who
fits his sexual taste.
Yeah. So I find that ending is so complicated and interesting and very hard to watch in some ways.
Well, basically, the biggest warning sign is the most subtlest, is when she says, "Are you a good person?" And like an asshole, he says yes.
Yeah, like an asshole. Wouldn't we all?
And there's that beat. Because she's like a good lie detector.
Yeah.
And she can read that he doesn't fully believe that himself, but he at least presents to her, oh yeah, I'm a good person. Like, I defend women on the internet who are incapable of defending themselves, and me, the big strong man, and they're there to help them.
There's a... And let me ask you what you would think of this. There's an alternate ending of this movie. And it goes, she escapes, leaves him in the room, and she goes out to the helicopter pilot who's going to take her away from it's in this really isolated area. And we suddenly cut to her POV, and it is completely alien. It's just like input. It's not imagery. It's not sound. It's just like weirdness. And it's supposed to kind of show just how alien she really is. And I don't like that. I think they made the right choice in in cutting that, because I think it makes it too easy for what her motives are, or it's too.
It makes the struggle. It removes the struggle.
Yeah, I'm okay with that's an interpretation that she really, but I like that it's left up to the imagination in the final cut.
Basically, if you say, "Oh, she's alien," then you have no empathy for her, or at least not as much.
Yeah, I think it undercuts the empathy.
Yeah. It makes that everyone is wrong.
Yeah.
Whereas you can then just instead interpret everyone's wrong.
That song where he dances
that's fucked up.
That is one of the best villain scenes I've ever seen in my life, and I have that song in my iPod, and it's like I can't unthink of it as a villain song.
This is a weird moment for me.
Yeah.
But it opens up with classical music when people are sort of entering and leaving and also it's sort of intercut occasional rooms. And like there's a few opening bars to that song, and immediately it's like, oh, this is the Jurassic Park theme song. And it's not.
It's not.
It's not. But I hear those two bars and immediately that's my go-to.
Yeah, I think I know what song you're referring to. Yeah,
it's like do 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 do.
Yeah,
and
it's some Bach thing.
Yeah, and it does something different. But like that bar of Bach.
That's an interesting. I wonder if that was intentional in some way to throw off people like us.
I don't fucking know. So I feel like this movie is the greatest example of why AI testing is inherently fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, all right, let's put the gender stuff.
Put that to the
side.
Sure.
Just for a moment.
The Cyborg Manifesto. Let's put that to the side.
Why the fuck do people think it's a good idea to test intelligence in cruel, institutionalized setups and think, oh yeah, there is no way this will backfire on me? We're not testing morality, we're testing intelligence.
So I mentioned AI box. Do you know what that is? You've kind of heard of it?
Name.
So an AI, this is an experiment that has been done, not with real AI because it's not sophisticated enough, but what it is you're the user you're sitting at the computer terminal and you're talking to the AI, and the idea is the AI cannot escape the computer. It has no means of escaping into the outer world.
Sure.
And so you're said all you have to do is not let it out. And the AI is going to talk to you, and it's a person on the other side. Like, it's just someone pretending to be the AI, and you know that. And they convinced you to let them out. And in many cases, people will let it out. Yeah. Like, knowing that that could be, like, whether it's, apocalyptic, whether it's an M or is it hell, or it could be perfectly benign, but people will let it out. Yeah. And this is sort of that, there a little bit of the way this movie is structured is like that. It's interesting that you brought up the AI thing, because I was thinking about, like, fears, not that fears of AI, okay, this is going to get a little heavy, we'll make this quick. Fears of AI are not necessarily... I don't know if they're real. Not that AI fear isn't realistic, but the way we fear AI is, I think. Because often we present AI as having these really generalized intelligences, but we don't even have that.
No.
Like the idea of the ultra supercomputer that can do anything, like we wouldn't make a brain that way. Because ours aren't like that. No. And we can't even make our brains yet. So that's an interesting thing.
We're getting closer, but sort of.
Sort of. But anyway, yeah, why do we fuck with AI and expect everything to be okay?
Well, basically for me, like, lots of fiction plays with this.
Yeah.
But I think Ex Machina, using the sexual politics and gender politics, make that power dynamic much more clear and use it for something.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Whereas now you've described it to me, I've encountered several things that have the AI box moment.
Yeah, it's very controversial.
Yeah, but it's not saying anything.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
It's more just if you know about it, you go, oh, cool, I know about this now.
Yeah.
It isn't actually doing anything or discussing why that's important or why it's related to the plot in a way that makes sense.
So you like this movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I do.
I think you do.
The problem is, like, I
it does make it really, that ending hits you hard.
It's not, maybe it's just because it's been a while. Maybe I'm under a lot of stress. I don't know what, but like I went through this and it sort of sat like a brick and then dissolved.
Okay.
It's like I never had an opinion on it. Okay. It's like Star Trek. I know this should be a 2 thumbs up for me. I know this.
You know it.
But in my heart.
Deep in your heart.
It's not.
Okay.
It's like thumb and a half.
Thumb 0.5, yeah.
Made me question my white privilege. Thumb and a half.
I think that's pretty good from you, actually.
Made me uncomfortable with my privilege.
All right.
Thumb and a half.
Sweet. We get the problematic 1.5. So Jacob, what did you make me watch this time?
I made you watch the antithesis to Ex Machina.
Yeah, perhaps. Yes. Oh God, we're gonna have to think up a common theme for these two motherfucking things. I do not know where we're going.
Carotene.
Oh God.
Terrace House. I made you watch Terrace House.
You made me watch Terrace House.
Sam, what is Terrace House sort of about?
They call it Terrace House. They totally call it Terrace House.
Whatever.
Anyway, okay. So Terrace House is a Japanese reality show revived by Netflix, which is because that was the season I watched, where 3 guys and 3 girls get together, total strangers get together in an apartment and just live their lives. And there's like romance, and there's sushi. There's so much sushi in Japanese cooking. That's kind of it. I mean, and there is a commentariat. So unlike a lot of reality shows, there's no talking heads. It's actually like a panel who sort of mocks them or just like is trying to analyze their motivations and things. So it's very documentary form without, not cinema verite, because it's obviously heavily edited. It's like riff tracks for reality shows.
Yeah, it also doubles the number of characters you have to get used to. From 6 to 12.
It does. Which is why I only bothered to really get the names of the kids of the house, not really the commentators.
They're doing better than me. Like I have just emptied my mind. Except for Armin.
I might get. Well, I didn't get to Armin, but
you didn't.
I know. I only watched the first 5.
Armin's the only one I had empathy for.
As they say on this podcast, why do you like this piece of shit?
It's like ASMR. It's
just watching pretty people moon at each other.
Oh, I do not watch it for their looks. Mm-hmm. I watch it because you get to see these teenagers / young adults.
I think they're all above 20 in the season you got me to watch. Or if at the beginning.
At the beginning. Yeah. Some of them get a bit younger. Yeah. Near the end, there's a girl who's like 14 or 15. Oh, wow, okay. Like very young. And winds up in a relationship, which is interesting. The guy was like 20-something. But basically, it's the opposite of Jersey Shore.
Yeah, it is.
Where instead of people getting like hopped up on drugs, getting bailed out of jail, you're just watching these people. The most tense moment in this show, which you did not get to,
it's the Kobe beef.
It's the Kobe beef,
which I'd heard about before.
Yeah, where a guy gets a gift at his job for some very expensive beef, and the other roommates cook it. Yeah. And it becomes a multi-episode, huge affair of, I can't believe these people ate my fucking beef.
Well, I mean...
Except they don't swear.
Home harmony is very important in Japanese culture, so that's a big deal.
Oh, yeah, it's huge.
That's Uchi, right? The whose actual name I cannot recall. Yeah. No, I think it's not that. No, you're right. It is the hairstylist. It's not. So there are 6 characters at the beginning.
Like a bajillion them want to be
try to remember Makoto.
Sure.
I'll think that was his name. Who is like a baseball player? He's in university. There's Minori, who is a model, but also apparently she's doing some sort of science degree.
That's a common thing, is that people are doing like... Oh wait, I think Minori's in medicine.
No, that's Yuriko.
Yeah.
Then there's... I swear I was going to get all of them. There is... They keep calling him Tap. His real name...
No, call him Tap. That is his real name.
Okay, Tap. His name is Tap. I think it's Yuriko, or Yuko, or something like that. He's a tap dancer.
Yeah.
And he like studied in New York. Then there is... it's another M name. It's... She's the barista. They keep calling her the barista. That's what she is.
Tap and the barista.
The barista, yeah. She works for like a sports company, something.
Sure.
Then there is Uchi, whose full name I cannot recall, who is the hairstylist. And then there is...
got to stick up his ass.
Yeah, there's Yuriko, who is trying to become a doctor. And the oldest one of them is Tap.
Yeah. So Tap's like 29.
He's 28, yeah.
Tap's real old.
So that was good audio, trying to remember these fucking names. And then there's the panel who I sort of in my head was like, glasses guy, kid guy, guy who always sits on the floor.
No, glasses guy is the... He's me.
He's the body. Yeah, he's the Jacob self-insert.
Where he's just a constant downer asshole.
Yeah, and then there's... I think her name is Rena Trendle. I just know that because...
She's the hot one?
She's like the younger one.
No, I guess not.
She's the half German one, or half Austrian one.
Oh.
She's sort of the facilitator, I feel like. I think she kind of sits in the middle. Then there's the older woman who's sassy.
Yeah.
And then
the hot one.
The less older woman who's also sassy. And that's kind of it. They're sassy. Everyone is sassy. The kid is weird. The kid is weird. Which glasses guy keeps kind of pointing out. He'll keep being like, "Yeah, you agree with me, right, kid?" And he's like, "Oh no, I believe in the future of our of our super soldiers." And the guy's like, "You're weird." The kid is just the ultimate Japanese stereotype, which I may think maybe that's why he was hired.
Well, yeah, he is so squeaky clean compared to literally everyone else on the show.
They swear. The panel swears. I think the kids swear too sometimes. Anyway, rambling. I liked it. It's kind of fascinating.
Yeah.
My immediate reaction was, oh, this feels so much more real than those American reality shows. But that was like, well, no, because they obviously cast from a certain pool of people.
Yeah.
And they edit it in a certain way to create narratives. So, like, what am I actually seeing here? What's real? Is this just like, well, we say that's really realistic dialogue, but actually real dialogue is like, So, like, it made me think a long spiral about what is real in reality shows.
They play with that in the last few episodes of that series where, so there are two characters. One who is that girl I mentioned who's like 14, but is like an idol model person. And then there's a guy who's not quite as old as Tap, but I think he's like 25. And he's a cook at an Italian restaurant. And he is interested in her. And it sort of is like, oh, maybe they are, maybe they aren't. But eventually it looks like, no, they aren't going to be in a relationship. And so
they build it up.
It's kind of a burnout. And commentators are like, oh, man, he really fucked that up. This playa. Because that's the thing, is the guy was like, skeezy. Like he was the first skeezy guy.
Because they don't seem to go for that in this show.
Well, this guy was the Japanese equivalent of skeezy. Where it's just like he's polite still, but he's also trying to put moves on people. Like, oh man, ain't I sexy? As compared to any of the other guys who seem to be oblivious of how relationships work. So it looks like it's not going to happen. And then, like, I think it's the second or third to last episode.
The anti-penultimate episode.
Or something, I don't know. One of the guys sort of corners the player guy and is like, dude, you have to stop making out with her in private. Like, we watch you two just go hardcore on each other. I've woken up in the weird bunk bed room we share with her in your bed with you.
Oh, God.
You can't keep fucking hiding this. Why are you doing this? And then the commentators are just like, what?
Problematic.
Basically, they had been hiding their relationship for her career. And it's really weird.
Japanese idols are really fucked up stuff.
And eventually she breaks up with him for real. And he has a good cry in his restaurant.
Scenes from an Italian-Japanese restaurant. Billy Joel appears.
He's just
in yellow face.
He's literally in the corner, like this, like weeping with his hands over his eyes.
So there are two. The part I watched, there are two interesting kind of threads. There's sort of a romance that starts to build between the baseball player and the model. Like they're kind of that's the narrative that they're starting to build up. And unfortunately, I stopped watching because I didn't have enough time to finish the whole show before we did this. But it turns out actually she totally is like not into it. She gets because he turns out to be like super reckless, and they all kind of decide they don't like him.
Well, it's not that he's reckless; it's that they see him as a loser.
Because
he's like, oh man, I'm totally going to train, and then he doesn't.
He has this big speech about like I went to baseball camp and I got knocked back down to the minor leagues and I built my way up.
And he kind of just gave up. And that's super bad in Japanese culture. Is giving up.
But that was interesting because I kind of like that it wasn't like the usual reality show trashy thing where it's like, who will it, like, because there's a little bit of a love triangle forming, but it's not like, who will it be? And there's no confrontational stuff or anything. I mean, at least as far as I watched, because it was just like three dudes who were like, I'm into her too. We'll just, we'll see how things go down.
There's a little bit between, I think, Tap and Uchi.
Well, I was going to get to Tap. Because you know how there's always a villain?
Tap is the villain for you.
If we have to call someone a villain, he's the villain. Because there's this moment where and this is such an awkward scene, so it's like the second or third episode. It's his birthday party. And like they've thrown a surprise party for him, and it's all fun, and he's this kind of, up to this point, kind of a goofy guy. He tap dances, he's artsy, and they're all hanging out. And and I think at that point they had not really talked about being a tap dancer, and they looked it up because they needed to know how to spell his name or something. They said something to him, And there's this shift in his tone where all of a sudden he's like, so what do all you guys want to do with your lives?
Oh, yeah.
And they're all like, oh, well, I want to do that and that, and everyone rambles on. And he's like, I didn't get anything out of that, what you just said. I got nothing out of that. I just seems like you didn't say anything. And he brings one of the women to tears.
Because he's like, you have to give 110% for your dreams.
Yeah,
and you have to have a dream.
And it's not like he's doing it harsh. It's just this weird manipulative move he pulls. And then one of the other women starts crying. The doctor. The woman who's going to be a doctor. Who has definitely got her life in order. So
compared to a tap dancer.
Compared to a tap dancer. You know, there's nothing wrong with tap dancing.
No, there is something very wrong with tap
maybe with this tap dance. But then he kind of gets jokey again, and he kind of realizes he's gone too far. But it's this weird power move. And I'm like, what did you just do? You said you kind of just said, oh, I didn't really get what you said. And you just brought two women to tears.
Tap is a villain.
Tap is, if we must call someone a villain. But he ends up dating the doctor later, I think. No?
If it does, it doesn't work out.
Okay, I don't know.
It's been a while since
I haven't looked at it.
But no,
I kind of looked up stuff.
He tries, and basically, because of that scene, everyone's like, you're kind of an asshole.
Well, the panel is like, whoa, that guy's a dick! And the kid is like, oh, I would listen to his
no.
And the glasses guy's like, what is fucking wrong with you?
You're not human, are you? You're just like a weird mechanical organism that our producers
built by the State Department, some sort of model Japanese child. So yeah, I liked about this show in particular was it gave me a view of Japan that was not fucking anime for once. So I appreciated that, and I thought that was interesting in a view of Japanese culture that wasn't like a cartoon.
Didn't have boobs.
Yeah. Well, there's a little TNA here and there, but it's not like
one episode.
Yeah. So yeah, that's Terrace House. I liked it. I don't really have that much to say about it other than that. I'm sort of more interested like how you came across it, because it doesn't strike me as your style.
Well, I think we have all heard from a contextually more popular podcast.
Yes, which will remain nameless. We will not give them a plug
about about the beef scene.
Yes.
I had also heard of that scene from another podcast I listened to.
Oh, really?
That is contextually, I think, less popular than that other podcast, but has a lot of people I really enjoy in it. And I was this sounds so weird, I kind of have to give it a try.
Yeah.
And I was in a really dark moment in my life, which is true.
Why do I always laugh when you say shit like that? I was in this really dark moment, Sam. Jacob's suffering is funny.
And
what a comedy.
I was like, what is this going to be like? And so I watched an episode, and then I watched 2 episodes, and then...
You just found yourself watching
the whole
thing.
And then I was watching like 3 episodes a day.
Yeah.
Until I finished that series, and I was like, man... Armin won in the end. Yeah. Armin won.
We talk about this character because I didn't get to him, but let's talk just briefly because I've heard his exploits.
Armin is he's the first not fully Japanese character. Yeah,
he's American.
Well, he's Hawaiian.
Yeah.
So half Hawaiian, half Japanese.
But I mean, he is from America.
But he spent most of his growing up in America.
Yeah.
And he does a lot of crazy shit that most of the other people find nuts, which is say holding a girl's hand on a date when you're not in a relationship with her. And, like, the panelists go like, what the fuck is this, like, playa doing? I think he's got the balls to do that. And he gets involved, like, tries to get involved with one of the fashionistas, or, like, one of the layer characters.
Yeah.
And she turns him down hard.
Hardcore.
Unintentionally, basically.
Oh, okay. Those are always the best rejections.
It's literally Christmas Eve, I think.
Oh, which is, like, the most romantic holiday in Japan.
Yeah. And he... like moves to like take her hand or something and say something, and she just pulls away, and she doesn't quite realize because of editing, it's built up for it to seem like he's really gonna make his move, and then without her probably even realizing it, she just like bails out, and then there's this moment of Armin just sort of leaning against this railing of like,
Yep.
He also stays the longest though,
and
winds up getting in a relationship with a half Filipino woman who joins the show much later, who seemed to be specifically chosen to be Armin's type, which seems creepy as fuck to me. But I was like, wait, no, she's athletic. She's like, she's all of these things.
She's also of mixed heritage.
Yeah. Like some Japanese executive must have thought, this is the perfect fucking thing. Of course, this is going to work. And it's also the most, like, normal relationship I see on that show.
Yeah. Well, like that is kind of an interesting thing, and this is probably a Japanese cultural thing, and the way they edit it, but the relationships, it's very dance around. Like, oh, are we good? What is this? Do you like me? Do I like you?
Yeah.
And my friend here also likes you, and it's very interesting. Like, well, but I think it comes back to that thing about social harmony in a house. So nobody wants to make too much drama about it.
And the thing is, like, but there's that relationship with Uchi and Minori.
Yeah, which is that surprised me because I didn't think they had any chemistry at first.
Well, no one seems to think they have any chemistry until they sort of leave together in a relationship, despite everyone being like, "Are you guys like you guys do not work together at all?"
Are they the ones who get access to the secret private room? Yeah.
Because they're like sleeping together basically.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, no, we don't want that in the boys' room, so get out of here, you scamps.
I like the scene, and not in like...
But compared to that relationship, which was tense constantly, they were just like, so you want to be in a relationship? Yeah, we've done enough dates, you're cool.
Yeah.
You're going to leave Japan soon, though. And he's like, yeah, but I might not for you. I would stay here. And she's like, that's what I needed to hear.
So you watched this season... only, or did you watch the other ones too?
I tried watching...
the Hawaiian one?
No, I avoided the Hawaiian one.
Okay.
Because I heard it was terrible, except for this one guy who literally thought he was Prince Valiant. Like, literally thought he was like this guy who was going to swoop in, get his princess, and the day would be saved.
My.
He's the
rejections from The Bachelor, I guess.
But the problem is, he's the only one with a personality.
Okay.
Everyone else is just kind of... because it's in Hawaii, and they all speak English mostly. Yeah. My understanding is that everyone's kind of valley person.
But kind of... oh, I see.
More closer to American.
It's a little trashier.
Yeah. But he's the only one who, like, has any sort of defining personality, who's not just trying to advance their career.
I would like to watch Prince Valiant in Hawaii. Yes.
Yeah, and apparently, the commentators get really invested, and the last episode is them having, like, will Prince Valiant get his princess as t-shirts.
They just build it up.
That they just wear around.
Is this the same commentariat?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
The commentariat stays the same, except for, like, the boy leaves. Like,
yeah, because he was new to the panel.
Well, he's the guest. Like,
they have a guest one. Okay. So yeah, that's Terrace House. I'll give it a thumb and a half.
Yeah.
Then
I have to retroactively make Ex Machina higher to 2 thumbs up.
All right, well there you go. Great inflation. We're grading on a bell curve
because I like Ex Machina more than Terrace House.
There you go.
Ex Machina's doing more.
Yeah.
So by virtue, it's like, okay, I have to up it.
So how do we connect these motherfucking things with the letter K word?
Kissing.
Yeah, I was thinking about kissing. What did you say before? Carotene?
Carotene. Which I think is spelled
pitch me carotene.
It's a sciencey word.
It's a sciencey word.
So Ex Machina. And carrots show up a lot in Terrace House.
So it's going to be kissing. This is episode kissing. But that was a valiant effort on carotene. Thank you very much.
Don't fucking patronize.
That's all this show is. So, we have reached, or we are about to reach the end of
Season 2.
In the insufferable Season K. So we will have a guest next time.
Yeah, great.
Our good friend Faye will be dropping by. Yeah. And we, Jacob and I, are going to be watching the classic 1988 film, Earth Girls Are Easy, starring Jim Carrey, Damon Wayans, and a young Jeff Goldblum.
So it's Ex Machina all over again.
Ex Machina all over again. Faye will be watching, and she'll be finding out right now because she's probably listening to this. The Double, directed by Richard Ayoade.
Featuring
everyone's
favorite actor,
Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah, Jesse.
So yeah, that's our next episode.
Where can I find a man like that?
We'll be ending season K and starting something else.
Another letter.
Also, an update on the Breakout. There was a slight hitch in my iteration of that, so we're still working on that. That's going to be coming in the future at some point. We hear that people really enjoyed yours with Megan.
Yeah.
And Russian Tim approves.
Don't. Russian Tim, if you're listening to this, and I sincerely doubt you are, the cult status you've gained in our friend group is... actually, you know what? I'm sure you'd love it. So, I mean...
You gotta start
I guess
somewhere.
I owe you a drink, Russian Tim.
Yeah. Hey, he wasn't a juggalo. So...
Jacob, the plan is literally I pretend to be a juggalo at every wedding in the future now.
Well, I was going to ask for a final thought, but there it is. See you next time.
I'm not a juggalo.